Hello everybody, good afternoon and welcome to Patagonia. It's round 3 of the FIA Motocross World Championship. This is the MXGP of Patagonia, Argentina, and welcome to our live studio show here at Trackside. We are up in the skybox. The last couple of years we've been on the podium, but sun's out this year for the studio show, so just want to protect our riders and little old Lisa here as well. But anyway, we are here live. Lisa, welcome back to MXGP. Been a couple of weeks since Indonesia, but I know this is one of your all-time favourite places.
It's one of everyone's favourite places, and it's the 3rd time that we've come here, and it still has that wow factor, doesn't it? It's just brilliant, all of it.
Well, look, you know, we've got a great show for you lined up today. We've got a couple of MXGP virgins. Did I just say that? Oops, I'm sorry. But Davy Pootjes from HSF Logistics Motorsport team is on today. We've got Glenn Coldenhoff, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing, and Louis Vosters, the team owner, team manager for Wilvo Yamaha MXGP team. Of course, he looks after Sean Simpson and Arno Tonas. But let's crack on with the show. Davy, welcome. It's the first time for you on the studio show.
Yes, true.
And how are you feeling though? Because, I mean, first of all, when did you arrive here?
We flew here from Amsterdam on Tuesday and we arrived Wednesday night here. Yeah.
And have you had a chance to do anything like hiking or cycling?
Yeah, we went hiking on Thursday and Friday, both days, because
Nice.
yeah, it's really nice here, and also at the lake, you know, it's really nice.
You could do horse riding here as well.
Yeah, but I don't really like that.
You'd rather ride your bike.
Actually, a lot of guys don't ride horses, I think, for the reason, just because of the jarring of the lower back. They choose not to do that until maybe later on in life, I guess. But it's just like riding the sand in
Like
Holland.
your age, later on in life.
Oh, shush. But first time on the studio show, Davey, but obviously not your first time here. You came here last year, I believe, for the first time. Did okay, what, 16th and 11th?
Yeah. Yeah, last year was okay. Only I came here back from my collarbone injury, and then actually before this race I didn't ride for almost 6 weeks. So I had a lot of arm pump, and the first motor I crashed. So I was just, but the speed was okay last year. So.
And of course, you know, we talk about it off air, sort of being one of the places that riders like to come to. It's one of their favourite places. What about you? You came here last year. You're back again now. In terms of the circuit, the scenery, I know we've got, maybe we just saw it, maybe we just missed it, but we have some great aerial footages of the track here. Is it one of your favourites?
Yeah, I think this one is the best GP of the year, and I really like the track. It's also a little bit sandy, so that's good for Dutch guys. And but also everything like around the track here is also really nice, you know. Yeah, it's perfect here.
Well, last year was your first full season in the MX2 category. It was a very tough season for you. Missed, what, I think 10 rounds in total due to injury. That was a tough season. Collarbone in Qatar. What else did you suffer with? Was it another collarbone in Latvia?
Yeah, the first one, the first collarbone I broke in Qatar. Then a few weeks later, like 1 month later in Latvia, the other side. So yeah, that took a little bit longer, you know. And then I came back actually quite good. My riding went quite good after the second collarbone injury. But then in Czech, in the first moto, I got the inflammation in my wrist on my tendon. So that was the end of the season for me.
And that was a pretty big surgery process as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A long time off.
Yeah. First I had surgery after Lommel, and then was 8 weeks off. Then the doctor said that that I could ride again, and after 3 times riding, it was back again. So then I had another surgery, the same, but only a little bit bigger, and that took me like in total like 12 weeks again. So yeah, in total I was out for 5 months with my wrist, so that took really long.
So when did you start riding again then?
I started riding in December, like the 2nd week of December, so actually quite late.
Yeah.
And this year started pretty well for you, hasn't it? 9th overall in the standings, 5th overall in Indonesia. You must be pretty happy with that?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. The first round was a little bit difficult in Qatar, but yeah, everyone was really close, and my starts were really bad. So, but in Indonesia, the first motor was really good. I took a good start and had a nice battle for the lead, you know. And yeah, so far everything is going good, and I just want to build it from here, you know.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about Indonesia. Of course, everybody that watched, we know how tough those conditions were, but it seemed like 2 things were needed. One, a good start, which you had, and also you needed to know how to ride the mud that weekend.
Yeah, sure. Only the first moto, I think the track was still quite good. Only that one place was really wet. But Yeah, the first moto there were a lot of lines, and I think it was still quite good for racing, but for sure the start was really important. And between the first and second moto we had a lot of rain, so yeah, the second moto was really difficult. Really
even when conditions were dry like this, that bottom section was still very difficult, wasn't it? And it was important to get there first. As we can see, you and Jonas having a good battle on that opening lap. 1 or 2 mistakes on the first lap. You remember the front end almost diving? We have that coming up actually. You must have been, whoa, that was close.
Yeah, my heart rate went up then.
Yeah, I think in one of the next right-handers, because I remember commenting on that race, and you were looking so good. I think not this left, but the next right before the mud section actually, I think.
Yeah, before the mud section, yeah.
Yeah. But in general though, the track, when I got there on Thursday, the track actually, here's that moment.
I think 2 corners later.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. But the track as a layout, you know, was actually, it looked like a very nice track. You know, to say it was the first time there, the jumps were nice, it looked like it had a good flow to it.
Yeah, I think the track was actually really nice, but because it's a new track, all the jumps were soft, and then after the rain, that was the moment. But then after the rain, you know, the lines were so deep and was getting so soft, so yeah, that was not so nice, but
it must have felt good leading again though, because obviously as a former European champion, 85 and third in the 125 European Championship, and winning races, winning overalls, it has been since what, 2014.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, some of it you've probably made good starts, but you've had crashes. We missed a lot of races because of injury. But MX2 is not easy, is it? And so to find yourself leading there must have been quite good, I imagine.
Yeah, for sure. You know, in 2014 I was actually winning almost every race. Only at the end of the season I dislocated my shoulder, so I missed the last 3 races, so I didn't win the championship. But at that moment everyone said, yeah, it's the new big thing, you know, and he's gonna do good in MX2. But yeah, at that moment I had quite much pressure on me, also after the injury. And then when I started in MX2, in the European MX2 class, and it didn't go good, you know, like the qualifyings were shit, and
sorry.
Yeah, sorry. And yeah, my riding was just not good. So then after a few months we made a step to the MX2 class just to learn and to be ready for the next season, because the plan was to go MX2 in 2016, and we did that. But then actually it went really good. I got a third already in Latvia and some top 10 finishes, some top 5. So actually at that moment it went quite good. But then in the 2016 season, yeah, you know, the start was not good. I broke the collarbone in Qatar, and then a month later the other one, and then with the wrist, you know, I actually in total I kind of missed two years of racing, you know.
Oh gosh, well we do have some social media questions for you on a positive note. Now this one's from Emil Vedden 359, and he says, do you feel more comfortable than last year? Because he says you're riding awesome at the moment.
Yeah, for sure I feel more comfortable. I feel there's less pressure on me, and now I can do my own thing, you know. I feel good on the bike, and just the only thing I think I still miss some racing rhythm, you know. Because like what I said already, the last 2 years I missed, I think, and every race I want to build, you know, and get better. So.
Okay, second question. Mitch Budd says, what's the biggest difference between your team this year and last year?
Yeah, now I can do my own thing, I think. Like now we are really a team, we train together, and it's actually a little bit more fun at the moment for me, and there's less pressure on me.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's I think the biggest difference.
I guess, and then from that side, maybe just a little bit more relaxed about how you go.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Cool. Well, look, we are out of time with Davy, but we wish Davy and everybody in his team all the best of luck for this weekend here in Patagonia. But before we meet our next guest, Glenn Coldenhoff, let's take a quick look at what happened just 2 weekends ago. Here's some highlights from MX2 Race 2, the MXGP of Indonesia. It was an interesting start for Race 2 for Calvin Verlanderen. Over the handlebars as his gate bounced ahead of him. Benoit Paturel was stranded alongside him as well on the Khmer Yamaha as everybody else piled into a very wet and slippery turn 1 as the rains started to fall. Jeremy Seawer took the foxhole shot, only just. His young teammate, Hunter Lawrence, making a run for the lead in that third position as Brian Bogus on the white HSF Logistics KTM took over at the head of the field. Samuele Bernardini, though, third rider in shot on the blue TM, was also making light work of the conditions, which by now was starting to deteriorate. Hunter Lawrence caught the back end of Brian Bogus and would crash out of the top 5 position as Jeremy Seewer marched towards the front of the field. Bogus then fell from the lead and handed the advantage to Seewer, who rode his luck at times. But it was the TM of Samuele Bernardini who took over the lead and never looked back as everybody else grappled with the long, deep ruts around this Pancao Penang circuit. Julian Lieber again was on a charge as he worked his way towards the front once more. 1 or 2 scary moments for Bernardini, but he was more than a minute and a half ahead of his rivals as Bas Vassen and his Suzuki succumbed to the deep ruts. In the closing stages of the race, Bernardini threw away his goggles to give himself clear vision. The save of the day, though, came from Bernardini. He almost threw away his TM en route to a possible first race victory, and Benoit Paturel suffered clutch issues, and that would cost him the championship lead. As the race drew to a close, the ruts got deeper. Despite the sun coming out, the red flag was thrown with just over 7 minutes to go. Bernardini took his first ever race win, but it was Jeremy Seewer who backed up race 1 victory with the overall Grand Prix ahead of Bernardini and Julian Lieber, who now leads the World Championship by 6 points over Seewer and Benoit Paturel. A memorable Grand Prix here in MX2 then, this weekend in Indonesia. Especially for that man right there, Julian Lieber, the new championship leader. Welcome back to Patagonia, and I'm pleased to say that weather conditions today are, well, we've pulled a 180. The sun is out, it's dry, it's perfect. They're even watering the track as we speak. But welcome back to part 2, and our second guest has joined us now, Glenn Coldenhoff, Red Bull Factory KTM Racing. Glenn Coldenhoff, first of all, how's the view from your hotel room?
Yeah, I think for everyone that's the same answer. I mean, the place is amazing, and I'm really loving coming to Argentina, and really enjoy this place.
When did you guys arrive then at Red Bull KTM? How long have you been here?
We arrived Thursday evening.
Yeah.
We had some good flight schedule, straight from Amsterdam, Buenos Aires, and then to Bariloche. So, yeah, the flight was good.
Yeah.
Good but long.
Yes, it's still long.
Will you stay for a few days after the GP, or do you need to get back to Europe?
No, we will leave Sunday evening already.
Oh, no. Yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah, it is a shame because normally last couple of years we've had either Leon, Mexico before or after, so we've had time to enjoy this maybe for a couple more days. But yeah, sadly, Mexico not for another couple of weeks, and everyone hot-footing it out of there. But before we start talking 2017, just a quick reminder: back in the last year, Motocross the Nations at Majora, you guys, Team Netherlands, got on the podium. That must have been a pretty special day for you. Came this close to winning, so. I mean, how was it for you? Was that like bittersweet? Yes, we're on the podium, but man, you know, 2 more laps, we could have maybe won it, or 3, if the race was shorter, we could have won it.
I think in the end of the day, you will come on the place where you belong. And I mean, we had a strong team this year, and we knew up front that we maybe possibly could make the podium. We made a goal with each other, and yeah. Top 3, okay, 3rd till 5th position was possible, and I think realistic for us. So for us was already a big win that we go to the podium, and even that 2nd place was just an amazing feeling.
Yeah.
And that 3rd moto, you know, when Jeffrey took the whole shot and I was in 2nd or 3rd, you know, then you straight feel it that that's going to be good.
Sure, but it was a great day, wasn't it? How was your winter program? as well. Obviously, because I guess because of what happened there, you go into the new season or in the winter season thinking, yeah, maybe you're on more of a high.
Yeah, sure. I was feeling good already. The last few races last year, and of course like we always do some testing and things. And yeah, I've been actually all winter long quite a lot of time in Italy, training with Tony and with the other guys, and we've been a few times to Sardinia. It's also a great place and an unbelievable place to prepare for the season. I think the tracks and also the way of living there, everything is really calm, and not even one traffic jam in all the weeks we've been there. So it's quite special.
Clearly, you don't like traffic jams.
No. Not around Eindhoven.
Right, Qatar, 15th and 8th, which gave you 9th overall. Perhaps not the start you were looking for, but what actually happened there? What was the problem?
Yeah, it started already on Saturday. I think, a little bit over-motivated.
Right.
Yeah, I think my mind was already more far than I was myself, and it went wrong. On Saturday I crashed already, and then that first moto I crashed 2 times in 1 lap. So, then you start thinking a little bit, okay, go on easy, and to try to stay on the bike, and that's what I did. Second moto, okay. Second moto was a solid result again with an 8, and we could build from there.
What about Indonesia, though? Obviously, just 1 week later, I guess 2 things we found out about you. 1, you can make good starts, and 2, you know how to ride mud. But how was it from your side?
Actually on Saturday already I got stuck quite bad, and the first lap of warm-up in the morning I got stuck again. So I knew up front the start was really important, and I could make that happen, and every time that real difficult place, I had the full focus on that place to come through every single lap, and I think that part was really difficult.
But how bad was it, though? Because when we look at the track like this, it just seemed that 1 or 2 places were difficult, and okay, the keyboard warriors, whatever, they were all should never have raced, and then you get some people saying, oh, it was great to see a mud race, and obviously it's no fun when, like you said, on Saturday you already got stuck. It's no fun when someone like Jeffrey Hurlings, your teammate, gets stuck in the mud. And these are guys won 3 world championships. So in 1 or 2 areas, it must have been very, very bad.
Yeah, exactly. Like what you say, especially the part where everyone got stuck. I think this part was for sure the worst one. Okay, this part was also quite difficult, but was still, you could go through quite easy, let's say. And I think the track, the other places, except the real difficult one, I think was quite nice. A lot of line choice. Yeah,
especially this was the one section. This was on the first lap. This had been cleaned up after MX2, but 3-4 laps and it was already difficult, and 5 or 6 laps riders were already getting stuck.
Yeah, I think the point on this part was like there was not really a hard base underneath, and the many more times you come through, you go more deep and more deep. So that actually the waves were also difficult.
Yeah, and then the pit lane was also difficult. But more from Glenn in just a moment. Let's just see how we can watch MXGP TV. We've still got that offer on MXGP TV. So just so you know, we're still offering that 25% discount on our MXGP TV package. All races are live and on demand, from everything from EMX to MXGP. And the offer also includes the FIM Monster Energy Motocross for Nations. You'll also have access to Behind the Gate 26 magazine, which is a roundup of each Grand Prix. So don't delay, subscribe today and you won't want to miss any of this year's action. And if you are a subscriber and you know people who don't subscribe, make sure you give them the little friendly nudge as well. Right, back to Glenn Coldenhoff.
Glenn, with the flyaways, some people would say that the championship doesn't actually start until we get back to Europe, but then others would say that it actually starts right here this weekend in Argentina. What are your thoughts on that?
I think the season starts in Qatar.
There you go.
There you go, simple.
You know, there you get points already. So
yeah. It starts when it starts, basically.
yeah, exactly. For me, it doesn't no matter which place or which country we are. You know, when the season starts, it starts. So
yeah, because some people go there and it's like the first round, because we're not in Europe, we're not with the big crowds. They just let's get through the first one. You know, in Indonesia, it's almost like a lot of people. Yeah, a lot of people that you talk to go, oh yeah, these ones are almost like vacation type races. You know what I mean? But as you've said, and I'm sure as a rider, as a team manager, team owners, they're all of the same opinion that you know, actually no, it starts from the first gate drop, and
exactly.
as soon as you start scoring points, we don't wipe the slate clean before and then go, hey everybody, we're in Trentino, round 1.
You do that. Hey everybody.
Anyway, get on with the social media.
Social media, right. Trey Nelson 304 says, how old were you, Glenn, when you started riding?
I have to think a little bit. I think when I was 9. Yeah.
Really? So late? That's quite late.
Yeah, quite late. Because I did some BMX before.
Okay.
And, you know, my brother, all my friends around, they were all riding motocross. And I was actually the only guy who still did BMX. So, you know, in the end, I also swapped to the motocross.
Cool. Okay. Mario King 17 says, what can you say about your new team member, Jeffrey Hurlings?
Yeah, actually last year was already similar, you know.
Yeah.
I had him as teammate already. Okay, he was then still an MX2, and now he changed class also. And I think it's quite good to have him in the team, you know. Also like testing things, you know, if you have 3 riders or only 2. I think it does make sense, and you get a lot more information. So yeah, I think it's good.
Yeah.
All right, and obviously Jeffrey Hurlings is, of course, in MXGP this year. He's had a couple of off rounds, but I don't know, maybe he's going to be firing on all cylinders this weekend. Hopefully this guy will be as well. But Glenn Coldenhoff, for now, thanks for joining us here, and all the best this weekend. Right, time to meet our next guest. Before we do, though, here's well, some highlights of what happened in the MXGP of Indonesia 2 weeks ago. Highlights from the one and only race, race 1. Sean Simpson started from pole position after posting the fastest time in Saturday's free practice. But it was Roman Fevre who grabbed the foxhole shot ahead of Glenn Coldenhoff. The Monster Energy Yamaha rider, though, was a little uneasy on the opening lap. Didn't make the distance on the first tabletop, quickly lost 4 positions. Jeffrey Hurlings was on the charge. On his Red Bull KTM, so too was Commander Sal on the Monster Energy Kawasaki, but it was Coldenhoff who led. Hurlings quickly got into second, but de Sal wasn't taking any nonsense from the 3-time world champion. As the race started to settle down, Geiser found himself in 3rd, Hurlings 4th, and Sean Simpson with a great start for Wilvo Yamaha was right there in 5th. His teammate, 89, on the Monster Energy Yamaha, Jeremy Van Horbeke, a few positions further back. Hurlings went around the outside of Simpson and quickly went after Geiser. But then he started to drop backwards into the clutches of his teammate, Tony Cairoli. 2 almost banged bars, but it was Cairoli who won that little battle. Simpson sensed an opportunity for a race win as the track became more difficult. Max Nagel's Husqvarna was parked on the side as Simpson made 1 or 2 mistakes as he challenged Coldenhoff for the lead. Eventually, the Wilvo Yamaha rider found his way through. De Sal was riding a steady race in 3rd as Fevre got himself into 4th. Geiser then got caught in the deep ruts and lost positions, would eventually come home in 7th place. Jeffrey Hurlings was next to suffer the deep ruts, and then Roman Fevre losing that 4th place. Simpson on the final lap also got stuck, but he managed to pull clear just in time. As he freed himself from the deep mud, he crossed the line, 7 seconds clear in what was an emphatic race win. Sean Simpson taking his first Grand Prix win of the season, his first race win since Assen last year, but Cairoli continues to lead the championship by 8 points from de Sal now, who moves to 2nd. Geiser drops to 3rd. Bobryshev and Van Horbeke round out the top 5. De Sal, 100% podium record for Monster Energy Kawasaki. 3rd overall, the Red Bull KTM of Glenn Coldenhoff. 2nd, but the first piece of podium pie for the Wilvo Yamaha MXGP rider Sean Simpson, standing on the top step of the podium with his new team. And for sure, the biggest smile of the day in MXGP. Tony Cairoli, though, still has the red plate as we head to Argentina, round 3. So, welcome back to our final part of our MXGP TV studio show, and we just saw him on the podium there a moment ago with his Grand Prix winner, Louis Vosters, the team owner, team manager for Wilvo Yamaha Racing. Welcome to our studio show, Louis.
Hello.
First of all, what is Wilvo?
Wilvo is my company. We manufacture sheet metal and assembled products. Our markets are the chip industry, copiers and printers, also parts for machines for the cotton industry, and we produce frames for transport system and logistics systems.
But until now, you've only ever been involved with other teams, team riders like Standing Construct, Jackie Martins, I know you've known for many years, Steve Turner. So why now? You know, I guess from the outside looking in, that's a very nice place to be, but now you're a team owner. Why? Why now?
Yes, I was involved, I think, as a sponsor and also, with the teams for, I think, 15 years. But last year, Tim Matthijs, Standing Construct, approached me, and we did the MX2 team together last year. But it was in May, I think, that he decided to quit.
Yeah.
He was too busy with his company, and I took over the team. And in that year, I also asked Yamaha to move up to the MXGP class, and there we are.
You said you asked Yamaha, but why Yamaha?
Yeah, for me, Yamaha in the GPs, they approach it really professional, and they are, really, I want to say, really involved with motocross, and it's a great brand, and I was really excited to go with Yamaha.
So obviously a brand new team. Tell us about your team, Sean Simpson and Arno Tonus. Why these guys? Because I mean, obviously they're very, very talented riders. We know that. But are these guys that you've been a fan of for many years? Yeah,
for sure. With Sean, I worked a little bit together when he was in the team with Steve Turner, and for me, he's a really, really great rider. And Arno, when we were in the GP in the US last year at Glen Helen, I heard that he was maybe interested to come back to Europe. So we approached him, and several weeks later, he signed Yamaha. So I'm really happy with these riders.
And how is Arno settling in? It's new team, new bike, new class. He's back in Europe, so that's a lot to take in, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe he has a little bit to find his way, but also in Qatar he showed 9 things, 6 in the qualification, 7 in the first moto. So I think he will give us really good results the coming weeks.
Yeah, obviously, you know, no stranger to Europe anyway, having spent his MX2 days here before he went to the US. But I mean, we're looking at both the guys here from your Sardinia shoot. But what about Sean Simpson then? A week ago in Indonesia, we saw him standing on, or 2 weeks ago, we saw him standing on the top step of the podium. We just saw you on the podium with him. That must have been a very special moment for you, because I know, you may have had some success in the past, but as I say, just helping other teams. But this one, as you, the team owner, must have been really special.
Yeah, it was really special. The team, they worked really, really hard in the winter. So when it pays off then in the second GP, you're really happy, and also the whole crew, the team. It was for us a really special moment.
We have all the overtakes here from Sean. He passed Clement, he passed Tim Geiser. He had a great battle with Glenn Coldenhoff. Although Glenn didn't make it easy for him, did he? He had to come back 1 or 2 times. But in the end, he got the result, and another victory on Yamaha, because 2013 he also won in Lierop in the sand on a Yamaha. So obviously he has a good feeling with that. What is, just before we leave, what is the plan for the year then with you? More podiums?
Yeah, actually we're at this moment really happy with this result, but for sure we go for more podiums. But when we are consistent with our riders, and at the end we are one rider top 5 and one rider top 8, I will be really happy.
Yeah.
Okay, well look, we are out of time here on our studio show. Louis Vosters, thank you. Oh, happy birthday, by the way. Someone tells me it's his birthday today, so
he's thinking, Paul.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
first time on the studio show as well. But many happy returns to Louis Vosters. All the best for his team as well this weekend. Of course, Wilvo Yamaha MXGP. But we are out of time here, unfortunately, in Patagonia. But good luck to everybody here. Qualifying comes up at, 3:25 local time for the MX2 and 4:10 for MXGP. So make sure you tune in to watch that. Of course, you can catch all the action live tomorrow, as always, on MXGPTV.com. We'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.